In what way do they get burned out? Burned out doing the videos?
There just comes a point where the grind of YouTube, it is exhausting. But I've kind of been given the cold shoulder, so I'm just learning their system and I'm going to create it myself.
So these people that you work with, many of them now millionaires, multimillionaires.
Talking about my clients.
Your clients, yes. So you've kind of rubbed shoulders with them, you've hung out with them, you've picked up bits of advice, we've talked about how you've been educated a little bit through some of the cool ideas that they have. What are some things that yourself as well as them, what are some other things to look out for when someone has kind of newfound wealth, not necessarily inherited, they haven't lived with it their whole lives, but it's the Airbnb lady, what's her name, Noelle?
Noelle Randall.
Or Chris, or any of the others that are, where it's exploded, thanks to you in large part and the work that you do. I mean, what are some of the things that you know, where they go, God, now that I have this much money, I've really got, we talked about taxes and retirement things, but are there other just things that are complaints or that are negatives, that are cons?
It's hard to complain about this, but one challenge that is pretty common among my clients is they're at a decent level of success in their business. Yeah. We leverage YouTube. YouTube launches their business to a much higher level, but they get a sense of burnout on the channel, even though they're at a much higher level. And so it's interesting.
In what way do they get burned out? Burned out doing the videos?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, burned out doing the videos. But here's the interesting thing, and this is a good problem to have. It's like with one of my clients, the YouTube channel itself from ad revenue is multiple six figures annually, just the ad revenue, and the business revenue is multiple seven figures annually. But because of the foundation and kind of the momentum, the reputation that he or she has built on YouTube, it's opened up other doors that are way, way more lucrative and profitable than what. And so it's just challenges. It's like it opens doors.
So they may just say, well, I'm done pursuing this particular avenue. I'm going to go off.
Yeah, it's kind of like that was the stepping stone that made it happen. But it's a challenge because they don't want to let it go. But
it does bring up a good question. What's the shelf life? I mean, does this go into perpetuity? The services you particularly provide, the services that have brought you this level of success, does that enter a little fear butterfly ever in your chest where you go, these clients are great, but for how long?
A little bit. Like you think of one of the great vloggers on YouTube. His name's Casey Neistat. He basically transformed the art of vlogging. Most vloggers out there copied his style or incorporated part of this style into it. But he is not on YouTube anymore. Just from the simple fact that he
ran out of stuff?
I hope he comes back. No, he didn't. He could just talk about nothing and he's entertaining. He knows how to make anything entertaining. But there just comes a point where the grind of YouTube, it is exhausting.
Yeah.
So what I typically recommend that my clients do is they go 12 to 18 months with the leaf strategy, everything as aggressive as I teach for that long, but then transition. The format that we're doing today is actually a format that Noelle Randall and I are talking about, of her being interviewed and her interviewing other people, which is just a much more energy-rich thing. There's the how-to videos where you've got a set outline and a set format of content, and you're just teaching. It is wearing on the brain.
Yeah. Well, we know from experience, obviously.
That's why we're doing this today.
The hundreds of videos that we've done. We'll sit here and we'll go, didn't we say this many times before already?
Now, what video are we on? What time?
That's true. But so you could transition them into other ways of doing it just to be able to hang on to that relationship as long as possible.
And the opportunity on YouTube is not going away. It's only getting better. Once you have a good foundation, once you have momentum on your channel, you have a lot more freedom and flexibility to do that. You could reduce your content to one video every week or whatnot, and you can do different types of content because now you've got an audience that knows you and they want to see whatever you put out there. You can be a lot more creative. In the beginning though, before you have that momentum, you put out a video like that, even if it's a masterpiece, an amazing video, no one's going to see it because you don't have the momentum.
Has anyone ever approached you, or have you ever considered any kind of partnership with other like-minded people where they said, I love your business and I kind of do this and maybe we could join forces, things like that?
I've got a couple referral partners and that is working really well. But for the most part, I've actually reached out, even just recently I reached out to another company and they don't give me the time of day. It's like, I've got a really good idea. I know we could do good things together. So.
And this is you partnering with them, bringing what you do to what they do, or are they a similar?
They have a different service than what I have, and I think it would be a good complement. And I see that what I have would be a good complement and would add a lot of profitability to them. I would guess. I know that our revenues are about the same, but I would guess my business is more profitable. But I've kind of been given the cold shoulder, so I'm just learning their system and I'm going to create it myself.
Talk to me a little bit about the necessity for that type of face-to-face marketing.
Really, I felt like maybe it was a desire to be seen. I want to be seen. I want to be recognized as, like the typical MLM thing where you got to recruit the planet and every conversation you have, you're trying to make a sale. I don't want